The night was calm, painted with the whispers of crickets and the far-off hoots of an owl. In the little village of Umocha, lanterns burned low, their dim light casting shadows that danced on mud walls. A small boy, Chike, sat outside his family's hut, his eyes wide with wonder as he stared at the stars above. His mother's voice came from inside, tired but warm. "Chike, come inside. Tomorrow you go wake early for farm." But Chike shook his head, whispering to himself, "Mama, one day me go dey bigger than this lantern. Me go shine like those stars." His voice trembled with both fear and hope. He didn't know how, but he felt it in his bones. His life was meant for something beyond the flicker of their smoky lantern. Inside the hut, his father, Okonko, sat on a wooden stool, his face darkened with frustration as he patched a worn-out hole. "This pikin go just dey dream," he muttered. "Dream no dey put food for table." His voice was heavy, the weight of poverty pressing him down. His wife, Mama Chike, looked at him with tired eyes and sighed. "But no kill am spirit. Maybe na him dream go save am tomorrow." Okonko shook his head sharply. Lantern light no fit reach city, and city no dey wait for dreamers. The words fell like stones. But Chike, crouched by the door, heard every single one. His small hand clenched into fists. The next day, while others worked in the farm, Chike wandered off to his secret place near the stream. It was quiet, except for the gentle rush of water. He would sit on a smooth rock, draw shapes in the sand, and imagine himself speaking to crowds, holding books, or standing in front of great machines he had never seen. "One day, I go break this chain wey hold me," he whispered. He closed his eyes, and in his mind, he saw a world bigger than Umocha, brighter than lanterns, full of strange lights and sounds. His heart raced, though his stomach rumbled with hunger. But dreams are heavy when the world mocks them. That evening, as Chike returned, the village boys laughed at him. "See dreamer boy wey no sabi climb palm tree," one jeered. Another shouted, "Na star you go chop." The laughter rang in his ears like drums of shame. He wanted to fight back, but his small body was weak. Instead, he ran, tears burning his eyes. At home, he curled under the old raffia mat, hugging himself as Mama's soft hand touched his head. "No mind them, my son. One day, it go clear for their eyes." Her words sank deep, like seeds waiting for rain. That night, when all had slept, Chike lit the old lantern and placed it beside him. The flame danced, casting shadows on his face. He spoke to it as though it was alive. "Lantern, you dey small, but still, you dey shine. If you fit light this whole hut, maybe me fit light the world." His voice cracked with emotion, his eyes shining with unshed tears. He placed his hand over the lantern's warmth, whispering a vow. "I go chase my dream, no matter waiting." Outside, the wind howled like a witness. The next morning, Chike followed his father to the market. As Okonkwo haggled over yams, Chike wandered to a trader's store where an old battery-powered radio played music and voices. He froze, his heart pounding. "Na wetin be dis?" he whispered. The trader laughed. "Na radio, small boy. E fit carry voice from Lagos, even from Oyibo land." Chike's jaw dropped. He leaned closer, feeling like he had just touched magic. The world felt closer now, not just a dream in his head. His father shouted, "Chike, come here!" But Chike's eyes refused to leave the radio. Later that night, Chike couldn't stop talking. "Papa, one day I go buy radio. I go hear voice from Lagos, from abroad self." His father slammed his fist on the wooden table. "Radio no go feed you. Stop there waste your head with dream wey no get sense." His voice thundered through the hut. Mama tried to calm him, but the fire in Okonkwo's eyes was unshakable. Chike stood silent, tears welling, but deep inside, his resolve burned stronger.
One fateful evening, a stranger arrived in Umocha. He wore dusty shoes and carried a small bag, but his voice was rich with tales. He told the villagers of cities with tall buildings, roads filled with lights, schools where children learned from books. Chike's heart nearly burst out of his chest. "So it a real," he whispered. He edged closer, his ears drinking in every word. The villagers shook their heads. Some laughed, others scoffed. But for Chike, the stranger's story was fire added to his lantern.
That night, Chike lay awake, his heart pounding. His father's words, the stranger's stories, the radio's voice, all clashed inside him. He whispered to the darkness, "I no go remain here forever. I go find my own light." The decision settled in his chest like iron. Though fear crawled at the edge of his mind, hope stood taller. For the first time, he dreamed not just beyond the lantern, but beyond the village itself. On the next market day, Okonko sent Chike to help carry firewood. But as they reached the busy square, Chike's eyes again found the trader's radio. He drifted closer, listening to the sweet melody of high-life music. Suddenly, crash! The bundle of wood slipped from his head and scattered. Okonko's face turned red with shame. "Chike, na radio you wan marry?" he shouted, raising his cane. The crowd laughed. Chike bent quickly, tears streaming down his face as he gathered the wood. The sting of his father's cane landed across his back, but the voice of the radio still echoed in his soul. That night, Mama found Chike behind the hut, quietly crying. She knelt beside him, wiping his tears with her wrapper. "My pikin, no cry. Your papa no sabi wetin dey your heart." She pressed something into his hand, a small, tattered notebook. "Take am. Anytime you hear something new, write am here. Keep your dreams safe, even if the world no gree." Chike's small fingers clutched the book like treasure. "Mama, I go make you proud." Her tired eyes shone with faith that only mothers carry. Days turned to weeks, and Chike began to fill the notebook with scribbles. He copied words he heard in church, sounds from the radio in the market, and even drew strange machines he imagined. His friends mocked him, calling him book boy, but Chike didn't stop. He whispered into the pages, "One day these words go carry me far." Even though he barely understood them, the sight of his handwriting felt like proof that he was building something beyond the lantern's glow. Then came the harsh dry season. The farms yielded little, food became scarce, and tensions grew. Okonko grew harder, snapping at every mistake. One evening, when Chike returned late from the farm, Okonko barked, "So na dream you dey chase, why we dey starve?" He raised his cane again, but this time Chike shouted, "Papa, one day I go help you see say dream fit put food for table." The hut fell silent. Okonko froze, shocked by his son's sudden defiance. Mama gasped. Chike's heart raced, but the words had already escaped, like a spark in dry grass. Weeks later, the same stranger who had visited the village returned. This time, he carried a small bag of books. He gathered children by the square and began to read. The other children giggled and drifted away, but Chike stayed, eyes wide, ears hungry. Seeing his interest, the stranger smiled and placed a small torn book into Chike's hands. "Keep this, boy. The world's day inside here." Chike held it like holy scripture, whispering, "Thank you, sir." For him, it was more than a gift. It was a key. That night, Chike lay under the sky with a torn book pressed to his chest. He stared at the stars, whispering, "If the world dey bigger than this village, I go find am. If knowledge they hide for book, I go chase am." The stars glittered back like 1,000 tiny lanterns, each one promising a path. He closed his eyes, and for the first time, he dreamed not just of living on Mwacha, but of becoming a light others could follow. In the following days, Chike began to sneak away after chores, reading the torn book and writing in his notebook. He memorized strange words, repeating them softly under his breath. Future, knowledge, freedom. His friends called him Rad. His father scolded him, but his mother kept watching with quiet pride. Each night, by the flickering lantern, Chike read until his eyes ached. The lantern was no longer just light. It had become his partner, his witness, his first audience. One evening, after finishing his chores, Chike climbed the small hill behind the village. From there, he could see the faint glow of a town far away. His heart beat fast. Stretching out his arms, he cried, "I swear, I go leave this place one day. I go chase my dream till the world hear my name." His voice echoed through the hills, startling a flock of birds into flight. His chest rose and fell as tears rolled down his cheeks, not of sadness, but of fierce promise. Unknown to him, Okonkwo had followed from a distance. He stood among the trees listening to his son's cry. For the first time, he saw not just a stubborn dreamer, but a boy fighting to breathe in a world that offered little air. Okonkwo's hands